Hello there. My name is Christopher Talisano. I am a certified athletic trainer and got my degree at the University of Florida. I am the founder of Best Day Fitness and also started the Best Method philosophy of personal training. And I'm here today to talk with you about what the best method, what it is. And oftentimes when I have a new client and they come in and I tell them we're home of the best method, and they're like, what is the best method? And I'm like, well, here, I'll tell you. So best method stands for, or the best and best method stands for better educated strength training. Educated is very important in that term, because we are super focused and super passionate on teaching and educating everybody that comes in, giving them the knowledge to help themselves heal using their own natural healing abilities, all that we all have within us as humans. So the more you learn how to move, the more information you have to access, the better your success rate is going to be, and the quicker you're going to succeed at moving better, getting rid of pain, whatever goal you have. The more you know, the quicker you're going to get there. So better educated strength training. Educated, super important. Strength training, obviously we're personal trainers. We love to strengthen the body, strengthen the mind, improve your overall just harmony with the way your brain talks to your muscles. And the more you can engage those muscles, develop those muscles, the more support your joints are going to have, the less injuries you're going to have, and the better you're going to move and the happier you're going to be, because you're going to be less pain. When everything's moving and you have enough strength, then life is just easier. And it's just a super important part of what we do. So we have 4 components of the best method, and those they start at the feet. We train barefoot here. So if you've never worked out barefoot, it's an amazing experience. You will never go back. Once you start feeling with your feet, feeling your toes and your arches and your ankles working to hold your body up, you just realize how much more control you have, how much more how much better your form is, how you can feel what's going on in your lower body and all the way up. It's like building a skyscraper with a faulty foundation. It's going to fall, it's going to fail eventually. So wearing modern footwear oftentimes disconnects our body from the earth. And when you have that disconnection, you can go for a long time starting to develop movement patterns that are going to be detrimental to your continued improvement. I always ask people, were you born with Nikes on? And I haven't found anybody that has said yes to that yet. So I know a lot of us when we were kids used to like to run around barefoot and just, kick our shoes off all summer. Well, I took that to the next level and decided to do it all the time. When you're strength training, when you're walking, when you're running, the more you can take your shoes off and get in tune with your body and the earth, you're gonna progress so much faster, and you're gonna correct movement imbalances, and you're gonna get strong from the ground up. So that's the first component of the best method, is barefoot training. Second component, super important, is posture. Posture correction. Whenever you hear that word posture, you're just already thinking, hey, boom, sit up tall. Do it. That's what if I get 5 seconds to talk to somebody, I'm like, just stand up tall. I guarantee it's going to fix so many things. It's going to make you feel so much better. You're going to continue to improve your strength, your balance, your core strength. You're going to prevent injuries. There's so many benefits from just being neutral, or being in that neutral anatomic position. If you look at the muscle chart or the skeleton chart in an anatomy class, and you look from the side and you see everything's lined up. You got the head's right over the shoulders are right over the hips right over the knees right over the toes, the ankles. If you can line all that up, that is neutral anatomical position. When you're in that position, you have the least amount of stress on all your joints. Once your head starts coming forward of the plumb line, that line that goes down the side of our body, once your shoulders round forward, once your hips go forward or back, you start putting different stresses on the joints. And over the years, when you have these stresses, then you start breaking down those joints. The muscles in the front and the back of the joints become imbalanced. Certain muscles get too tight, certain muscles get too weak. It's a whole cascade of detrimental things that happen when you get away from that neutral anatomical position or that good posture. Watch a little toddler when they're walking around, when they first start standing up. They're perfect posture. Just Look at a toddler, see how they move, see how their head is directly over their shoulders. Watch them, they'll run around on their toes, their hips are perfect, their spines are perfect. We can get back there. It's not easy for some of us, especially if you've been doing something for 60 years. But with enough muscle training, with enough movement correction, kind of fixing your posture, starting to be routine with it, starting to change your habits, start thinking of that posture correction as a full-time job, you can start correcting your own imbalances, start fixing yourself. I've lost count of how many times I've fixed people's pain just by teaching them to stand up tall, just by having them just be that neutral, that good posture, just start living it. And then guess what? The stress on those joints are going to go away. You're going to start feeling better pretty immediately too. I mean, I've talked with people about posture for 5 minutes, and after explaining everything, they're already standing up taller, and then their next comment is, my shoulder doesn't hurt, or my neck doesn't hurt, or my back doesn't hurt. And all I did was give them that education, that knowledge. So posture, super important. It's the number 2 facet of the best method. Number 3 facet is the education. Sorry, brain fart. So education is what I was talking about earlier. Is the tools in the toolbox. We give you the tools, open up the toolbox, start utilizing those tools, know how to use the tools. And you're going to start practicing these concepts more and more when you understand what you're doing, why it's helping your body, how to use the muscles, what muscles need to be worked more, what muscles need to be worked less, what stretches you need to do, what strength training exercises you need to do. The more you know, the better you're going to progress, the quicker you're going to progress, and more importantly, the safer you're going to progress. I've lost count of all the times of people that have come in, worked out all their lives, done all kinds of different workouts, worked with fitness professionals, personal trainers, physical therapists, and they come in and they've got just horrible form, horrible posture, that nobody taught them how to move. They might have been getting good workouts and they were sweating a lot and burning calories and feeling stronger, but nobody gave them those tools to actually use on a daily basis. And unfortunately, it led to imbalances and pain and disruption and ultimately injury. So we want to give you the tools immediately. As soon as you come in, we're teaching you things from minute 1, because if I can teach you something in a few minutes and you can take that and it can get you out of pain, then I've done my job. If you don't have to come back and see me because you're feeling better, awesome. That's why I do what I do, because I want to help heal people. And the more you can learn, the quicker you can heal yourself. So I want to give you those tools. So education is the third facet of the best method. And it's important. It's so important. I put it in the best method, in the E of best. So the 4th component is brain science. Spent a lot of time in my career doing traumatic brain injury, stroke rehab, sports-specific movement for athletes, teaching the brain how to use the muscles better, how to make those connections more consistent, neuroplasticity, rewiring the brain, having the brain change in response to stress you put on it. Brain science is a passion of mine. I love learning about the brain, and I love teaching people about how important that brain to body connection is. And one of the important components of that is your subconscious brain and your conscious brain. Subconscious is your involuntary, your basically default part of your brain, the autonomic part of your brain that says just kind of do as little as possible. Let's be lazy. Let's turn muscles off, because that part of your brain is the part of your brain that controls your breathing, controls your digestion, controls all the stuff you don't have to think about. When you fall asleep, it's the reason you wake up the next morning, because you didn't have to think about breathing all night long. That's your subconscious brain. So part of your subconscious brain's role is to be a calorie manager. How can we save as much calories as possible? Because our subconscious brain has evolved over millions of years in a body that is hunting and gathering. We have been hunting and gathering for a large percentage of our existence here on Earth. Probably about 99.9% of humans' existence has been hunting, gathering, and foraging. So over those eons, we had to find ways to save calories. We didn't have a buffet on every corner. We didn't have a Publix, right across the street from another Publix. We didn't have access to calories, so we had to go find calories, and sometimes we didn't. So in times of in the winter time when we couldn't find as many calories, we had to kind of chill out and turn muscles off and be efficient. And our subconscious has gotten super efficient at turning muscles off immediately. If you are not using a muscle, engaging a muscle, thinking about using that muscle, guess what? Your subconscious has turned it off. So think about that concept that your brain is constantly turning muscles off. While I'm sitting here talking to you, my brain is saying, do my glutes need to work? My glutes are the strongest muscle in my body, and they don't need to work while I'm standing here talking to y'all. They're just not important. Now, when I need to go sprint and find, sprint away from some danger, or run after something, or just run really fast, yeah, my glutes need to kick in. But I'm not always doing that. My brain wants to save that energy for when it needs to. So my brain's going through this checklist. What muscles do I not need right now? And you're going to find that most of the larger muscles in your body are not necessary for most of the things you do on a daily basis. Unless you're going to work out 2, 3, 8 hours a day, those muscles are probably not working. If you're sitting at a desk or watching TV, a lot of those larger muscles in your body are going to be turned off. So think of that like when you're sitting there, when you're standing there. Start being aware that your subconscious is always, until the day you take your last breath, is always turning those muscles off. Like a light switch. It's going back around and saying, hey, are my glutes important? Nope, turn off. Are my quads important? Nope, turn off. Are my lats important? Nope, turn off. So that's your subconscious brain. Your conscious brain is the part of your brain that you have control over. It's your voluntary brain. So if I want to grab my drink over here, I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to grab this drink. I'm going to have a sip. I am drinking a beer. I do enjoy life, so enjoying that. It's Friday afternoon. I might have a sip of frosty beverage. But I voluntarily said, hey, deltoid, bicep, brachioradialis, finger flexors, grab, put up to my mouth, and take a sip. That was a voluntary movement. I had to say, use my muscles. So I can do that with every muscle in my body. I can say, hey, gluteus maximus, why don't you turn on right now? You're just sitting here on your butt. Let's actually wake up. So I'm going to go, boop, turn the switch on. All right, my glutes are working. I'm pushing my feet into the ground. I'm engaging my glutes. Now my number one strongest muscle in my body is turned on. So as I'm doing that, my subconscious is like, why are you engaging that muscle? It's not important right now. We need to turn that off. So I'm having to say, shut up, subconscious brain. I'm trying to get stronger. I'm trying to burn calories. But your subconscious is like, but wait a minute. We're wasting calories. We don't need to do this. I'm like, no, primal brain. I'm going to eat dinner tonight. I promise. I will give you calories later. Actually, I'm going to give you a calorie right now. A few of them. There's your damn calories. So I have access to calories in modern culture. So I need to consciously tell those muscles to work. So my subconscious, no, don't work. Yes, work. So that's the strongest muscle in the body, the glutes. What about your quadriceps? What about your abs? What about your lats? What about your deltoids? What about all the other muscle groups in your body? Guess what? Subconscious is turning those off too. So think about how can you go through that checklist of all your big muscles and how can you start turning the switches on? Be inefficient. Waste calories. Believe me, how many people want to lose weight and burn calories? A lot of people, most people. It's what people try to do. It's why people go to the gym. They want to lose weight. They want to lean up. If you can take this concept and start taking control of your conscious recruitment patterns, if you can start turning your muscles on, not just when you're working out, but more importantly, all the hours in the day when you're not working out, when you're sitting at a desk checking emails, when you're working on a report for work, when you're sitting on your couch watching Netflix, you can be engaging these muscles and be burning calories. And more importantly, you can be teaching your brain that, hey, these muscles need to be working more. So you're going to start getting used to using them more and more. So when you do go to the gym, you're going to have quicker access to those muscles. Those muscles are going to be stronger. They're going to contract quicker, and you're going to get stronger faster. So that conscious and subconscious interaction is super important. It's one thing I'm passionate about teaching people because it's so simple. I've had people come in that have told me they've been to all these specialists, doctors, neurologists, physical therapists, and nobody ever explained this to them, and they're still in pain. If somebody teaches you this, and you can heal yourself by learning how to move better, by using your muscles more often, then that's what it's all about. That's how I can help another human to feel better, to get out of pain. Because all we are is a bunch of hunter-gatherers living in a very luxurious world where we can turn all these muscles off for a majority of our lifetime because we don't have to hunt and gather. And then we have lots of access to calories. So our caloric intake goes up and our caloric expenditure goes down. So let's bring the caloric expenditure back up so we can eat whatever we want and we can get lean and strong. And it's a great way. It kills lots of birds with one stone. You're losing weight, you're getting stronger, you're getting out of pain. If you're an athlete, you're moving better, you're moving faster. So these are all benefits of utilizing these concepts from the best method, especially the conscious versus the subconscious interaction. So I could talk for days and days about that, but that's just a basic overview of the best method. Barefoot training, posture correction, education, and that brain science, so the subconscious and conscious interaction. So if you want to learn more, feel free to hit us up and we can chat with you more. We can set you up with a complimentary evaluation, teach you a little bit more how you can move better. But once again, my name is Christopher Talisano, and have your best day ever. Thanks for listening.